Hey everybody, I'm Jason, and this is Jay's Project Garage. So I was just watching Uncle Tony's Garage, and he was talking about core plugs. Ran into a problem trying to find one in different parts stores, and I've had the exact same problem. And it reminded me of a story from a few years ago. I built a 306 for a 90 Mustang LX. Had a Holley Systemax 2 intake, AFR 185 heads, trick flow cam, made 341 at the tire. Really, really fun little engine. But when I originally put the intake and everything on, give it back to the owner, I said, you need to take it to a dyno and get it tuned. It runs really good, but it could run better. So off he goes, takes it to the dyno, calls me a few days later and says, hey, the dyno operator's having some problems. He's saying there's a vacuum leak on the intake. I said, well, does he know where it is? He says, well, it's coming from one of the core plugs. Okay, bring me the car back and I'll look at it. So he brings the car back, and sure enough, core plugs in the front and back of the intake were leaking. And here's a picture of it. And I'm trying to remember what size it was. I'm wanting to say it was like 1 7/8 or something like that. I had to go to like 3 or 4 different parts stores before anybody even knew what the hell I was talking about. And luckily I found somebody that let me go into the back and look myself. But the core plugs that I got were like really, really narrow here. So I bought 2 of them. Well, actually, I think I bought 4 of them because there's one in the front and one in the back of the intake. I put them in, started the engine up, put it all back together, started the engine up, and they were still leaking. So took the whole thing back apart, knocked those freeze plugs out, and went and found some different ones that were wider. And I think this is actually one of the extra ones I had. They're a little bit wider in here, and I could tell when I drove them in that they were going to seal. And I actually put just a little bit of RTV on the plug itself before I drove it in and smeared it on the edge. You couldn't even tell it was there, but it worked. So UTG's not full of crap. I mean, this stuff does happen. You guys get out in the shop and work on your projects. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.